Hey guys, this is Wendy from Reading and Musings. So I just got back from camping and I was going to do this whole video of me reading and camping. And unfortunately the footage that I used, my camera, I'm using my phone, I had it this way instead of this way. So that just doesn't look good. So instead of putting in all of that footage, I'm just going to tell you about my trip and put in just a little bit of the camping footage. So yeah, so I camped at Mount Cheaha in Alabama. I took my dog, and we had fun. I read 2 books. I read the Red Tent by, hold on. I read the Red Tent by, let's see. Sorry, I have the book. I left them in the car because I finished them, and I'm gonna drop them. The 2 books that I read, I'm gonna drop them off at the little free library in my in my neighborhood. So I don't have them with me, so I have to look it up. So, the Red Tent by Anita Diamant. So I talked about my thoughts on it as I was reading it, but alas, that footage I'm just not gonna put on here. So, you know, I didn't know much about it as I started to read the book. I knew that it was biblical, and not being, you know, super religious. I'm spiritual, not religious. I didn't really know that much about this book going on into it, but I soon discovered that it's the sort of a female retelling of some of the stories from the Old Testament. And I found it interesting, you know, these female stories and, you know, these stories of these women and how they live their lives during, you know, these, this very old period of time in the Middle East. And, you know, it's just, you know, the powerful relationships of women and you know, the place in the family of, you know, of women. That I'm not saying that right, but the woman's role in the family, in society, and all of that. And I just thought that was really interesting. And another thing that I thought was interesting was about, like, this thing that sort of stood out to me in the story was about menstruation. Like, the main character, like, when she started her period and how it was celebrated. Like, that's the whole thing about the Red Tent, right? That's like a woman's place, like where the women mainly gathered, but also like at her time of the month, she had to stay in this red tent. And so when the young girl came of age, it was very much celebrated. You know, much like today, or not much like today, it's either ignored or it's, you know, it's not really given that much of a, you know, it's not that much of a big deal, or women kind of, or girls kind of feel ashamed of it or whatever. And so I just, you know, think about the sort of stark contrast between that period of time and today. And I thought about that movie that just came out, the animated, I think it's called Becoming Red, the panda movie. That there's a little controversy because sort of there's this one part in it where the mother thinks that the young girl is starting her period, and so she comes in, you know, with all the all the things that she thinks her daughter needs, because she thinks that her daughter has started to menstruate. And you know, it's just, maybe that's a part of, like, you know, a part of, you know, puberty and becoming, you know, into adolescence and all of that, and the celebration. And so, you know, why not have a movie that talks about this? And some people are like, oh, it's a Disney movie, it shouldn't talk about that. Well, why not? Because, you know, there's an aspect of people who watch these movies that are adolescent girls that do want to watch, you know, or, you know, that is something that they may be interested in. I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyway, I don't know. It's just, an idea that, you know, we shouldn't shy away from these topics. All right, on to my second book. I read The Hobbit by Tolkien. Tolkien? Yes. Anyway, so again, I still haven't researched it yet, but as I was reading the book, it reminded me, I've never read any of his books before, but I remember years and years and years ago, I had watched the movies, the Lord of the Rings, and it just, to me, it seems like they're just going on a long, long journey. It's like they just keep traveling. It's just going on and on. And so as I was reading The Hobbit, started to read it, it was just like, okay, so this is starting to seem very familiar to me. And and I still haven't researched this. Is The Hobbit in the Lord of the Rings movies? Because like Gandalf comes to see the Hobbit, that this is happening in this book, right? And he sets off, and then there's Gollum and the ring and all that. Is this in, okay, so I don't know. So anyway, it makes me want to watch the movies again. And then there was a whole Hobbit movie. Is this book that I just read? I don't know. So anyway, so it was a little kind of like monotonous. Like, I mean, yeah, there was a few kind of adventures and stuff up until I think it was around chapter 13. Then things really started rolling as I got to the cave with the dragon and everything. So, I mean, it was good. I mean, it was interesting. And I'm glad I read it. So I thought it was a good book to sit at a campfire and read. Yeah, so camping and reading was interesting. I thought that I would be mostly reading during the day, and I brought my little DVD player with some DVDs because I knew the campground that I was at did not have Wi-Fi, and it didn't even really have good cell service. So I think when I was in my tent, it was even worse. But if I was around my campsite and like outside of my campsite, it was a little better. But I think I could do texts and phone calls, but that was it. No photos, no social media, nothing else. So the first night I got into my room and it started to get too dark to read, and I went to get my DVD player out, my little portable DVD player, which was left over from when my kids were little. I forgot the adapter, so there was no power. So yeah, I just listened to audiobooks until it was time to go to sleep. Yeah. And so I'll show you some video and footage and some pictures from the camping trip after I finished talking. But yeah, I took my dog with me, so it was just me and my dog Willow, and she was not impressed with camping. She's very cold-natured. She has very thin coat, and so I had to keep a jacket on her. And at night it got pretty cold. The first night it went down into the 30s, but luckily I took like a little heater for the tent, which kept the tent pretty warm. And and she was also not impressed by the campfire, especially if the smoke started blowing towards her. She definitely would want to go into the tent. So you'll see pictures of her looking pretty sad, and then some pictures of her wanting to go into the tent. But she's not unhappy all of the time. She liked it when I took her on walks and little hikes and things like that. There's also, we go up not hiking, but we go on this walk around the park, and we go up to this place up on the mountain where it's like the highest point in Alabama, and there's this statue, and she's scared of it. She's so funny. She thought it was a real person, I guess. And then on the last day that we were there, there's this squirrel that started to harass her, and it got like really close to us and started to try to steal our food and everything. So yeah, but overall we had fun. It was a couple of days, and it was very relaxing. So anyway, so just stay tuned, watch the camping footage, and please subscribe and like the video, and Oh, I forgot. When I got home from the trip, I almost forgot. I had some book mail. So let's look and see what I have. All right, so the first is from Amazon. So there's Amazon, and then there is Crate. So let's look and see what I have. I can't believe I almost forgot this. So, all right. Ooh. All right. So first of all, I've been waiting on this one. I prefer the British covers. So this is B.E. Schwab's Gallant. So this is, oh, it's so pretty. Look how pretty it is. Oh my gosh. Now I had forgotten that well, no, I hadn't forgotten, but I was just tired of waiting. And I almost bought, I went to my local Second and Charles, and they had a signed copy. I almost bought it. Oh my gosh, the art is so pretty. Look at this. So it has a pretty embossed cover on the front, and the art is so pretty inside. But yeah, I almost bought a copy of this, another copy of this. Oh, it's so pretty. Now I can't even remember what the American version looks like, but this is really, really pretty. Okay, and now this is really funny, knowing that this came in today. This is funny that this come. Now I do not subscribe to Crate, but because I get their newsletter, you get an early, what do you get it? Or early, what is it? You get early access to their exclusive books. That's what it is. So it is interesting that this book also came in today, or came in at the same time. You're gonna laugh because it is also Gallant by B.E. Schwab, but it couldn't be any more different, right? Look how different they are. Oh my gosh. Like it's a darker version. It has, look, these shiny, so the houses are really shiny. I prefer this one with the color on it though, right? Because it has the red houses and the red flowers on top. There's no flowers at all on this one, but this one has like birds. See the bird? Is that birds? Oh no, it's like a statue with wings. Interesting. And then it has black embossed edges, and then let's see, it has this artwork on the inside, which is the house. Oh, it's more like a garden gate. So this was the house. This is more like a garden gate. Interesting. And so this was supposed to have, so there was a mess up with the printing of this book. And so it was supposed to have, on the book sleeve, there was supposed to be artwork. And there was a mess up with the printing of it, and the artwork didn't happen. So what they did was they included the artwork in the packaging as prints. So you can see here's one, and here's the other. Oh, these are really, really pretty. So I'll have to maybe put these in frames or something. And it also came with a bookmark that says, "I can shake death, but you can give it life." And what's interesting is that, well, one is that it feels like wood. So it's like this woodish material, and it has like a branch that looks like a hand, and then at the bottom it looks like a hand. It's almost like they're reaching towards each other. And then also the signature plate that you put in the front. All right, so now I will get to the camping footage. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Please stay to the end, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe. All right, have a great week. Thanks. Where's this fella? This Boy Scouts of America. Willow, that's not a real person. Not a real person, buddy. Honey, it's not a real person. Why are you shaking, baby? Why are you shaking? Why are you shaking? Why are you shaking? She's just vibrating. I can't believe you're letting that squirrel do that.